name is Brian Kachinsky. I'm 26 years young. I'm originally from Neenah, Wisconsin, and currently live in Chicago, Illinois. Booyah.
You ready, Brian? You ready for the interview? Every rider has that moment when it clicked in our heads that we knew that this is BMX. What was it for you, that moment that it clicked for you, that you knew that BMX is for me, I'm hooked for life?
The thing that hooked me to BMX was that it didn't come to me very easily. Some other sports, like baseball, soccer, hockey, football, they all came somewhat easy, the basics of it. And BMX to me was completely foreign, and I had the hardest time just learning how to manual, learning how to jump right, trying to take my feet off, simple things like that. So the fact that it was such a challenge and that I really had to work for everything that I learned and everything that I did, that's when BMX really clicked for me, when I started to learn tricks, even if it took me a million tries, or when I started to overcome things like that, that's when BMX really clicked.
I'm sure a lot of people want to know, what do mom and dad think about all this wild BMX stuff?
They definitely weren't too psyched on BMX at times, and that's understandable. BMX isn't like other sports where you can easily go watch, like when I played hockey, for example, my parents were always really supportive and would go watch my games and stuff like that. But BMX isn't as easy because they don't necessarily want to go with you to the skate park every day, and so they don't really get to see it. And I guess the side that they'd see is like me coming home hurt. But the great thing about my parents is that they saw that I loved bike riding, and they saw that I was passionate about it. So while it probably wasn't the first thing they'd choose for me, they still support me and supported me through a lot of hard times with it, and still continue to this day. I get a lot of motivation through my dad.
I'm Len. I'm Brian's dad. I've known him since he was born.
He's got an amazing work ethic and an amazing drive. He gets up every day and lives every day to the fullest. He's a really hard worker. And my parents are awesome. My parents, I seriously can't thank them enough. I'm here live exclusively with my parents, Barb and Len Kachinsky. Question from the audience was coming from Mr. Dave Frymouth, and he was wondering which one of you two I got my crazy from.
You've gotten it from both of us.
I see both of us in Brian, but then he's his own person. But we're real proud of you, Brian.
What did you think of it early on?
I don't know. I was afraid for you falling. It's hard to be his mom. I am glad you don't do motocross.
Me too. I'm very glad, yeah.
Growing up, who were some people that you looked up to when you first started out riding?
Early on, I rode with the guy Mark Fluette, who's in a lot of the old Baco videos. A little later on, I met guys like Dave Frymouth, Mark Hilson, Chris Rye, and rode a lot with those guys then the following years, and still to this day. Dave Frymouth was a huge influence. His ability to combine tech with big burly stuff has always fascinated me. I try to model my riding after, even though we don't do the exact same stuff. But on the street side of things, definitely Ian Morris, Van Homan, Brian Castillo, those guys I'd watch a lot on videos growing up.
What are video parts that have influenced you?
Early on, I look back and I see myself being influenced by like Brian Castillo's part in BMX Inferno, because I remember like actually going out and learning some of the tricks and like buying khaki pants that day, like just like funny stuff like that. Like you look back and you're like, wow, I did that exactly because like that's what he was wearing, or that's the trick he was doing, or you know what I mean. So, but the part that really hit home for me was Van Homan's part in Criminal Mischief. When I saw that part, and still when I like hear that song, I still get chills down my spine, because it's just like, to me, just the ultimate video part.
So I know that you made it all the way through college and at the same time managed to juggle a professional athlete's life. Tell me what that's like.
It wasn't easy, but something that just takes a lot of time and I guess dedication to both, because you don't want either one to lack. But I can distinctly remember a time, actually even saying, man, I don't want to go to college now. I want to travel and ride my bike, and I'm really, really glad I did in retrospect. And I wanted to go to college not only for the education but the experience, and it's just another one of those things that, you know, I want to experience as much as I can in life in general, and I don't want to limit myself to certain experiences. And since I had the opportunity to go to school, you know, I had good grades and had worked towards it, I went for it. And it was not easy to ride and go to school at the same time, but in the end I'm glad I did it. I made some great friends and great memories at school as well.
Your first signature frame ever was just released. I know you're psyched on it. You put a lot of work into it. You want to speak to your frame a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, it's an honor initially to get asked for one, and then, you know, when the first one came out, I was obviously really, really psyched. But the biggest moment for me was, you know, the first time you see a kid riding one at the skate park and they tell you how psyched they are on it. So that's the most rewarding part of it for me.
Not the first time.
Has anyone ever told you that you slightly resemble Barney Rubble? You ever feel like you land like a pile of rubble?
Yeah, I definitely have.
What is your take on filming for videos?
I love filming for videos. When I'm filming for a video or, like, you know, have a project in mind as far as a video part goes, I always want to give 100% because I think it's really important, and it's like that year or two or whatever it takes to film a part, like that time is like going to be captured forever, which is really cool because you get to look back on it and like either be embarrassed or be psyched. I've had both, you know, so but videos I think are a huge part of BMX and something that is really, really important to me because I think it's a good form of expression for a rider that might not do as well in contests. Definitely like a good way to show what kind of rider you are and what you're capable of.
All right, Brian, it seems that you're very productive as far as filming, where, you know, if there's not a filmer around, you know, you'll set the camera up on a tripod or, you know, get it done either way, whether or not there's someone else there to film it. Kind of what's your take on that?
I guess it's hard because, you know, if you go on a trip to film and maybe you don't find the right thing or aren't feeling it at the time, and sometimes you'll just be out riding with your friends and you'll find something you want to do. And I'll always bring my camera with me, and it's, you know, it's not the best camera ever. It's got some miles on it and it's got some years on it, but, you know, it gets the job done, and I just, you know, give it to whoever's around or whoever can film. And I appreciate it because, like, I have a lot of friends who I've just, like, asked on the spot, like, hey, do you mind filming this? And, like, you know, they're probably pretty nervous.
All right, Brian, in addition to some of the most amazing video parts, you've also had some wild crashes, but you always get back up for more. What is your secret?
Basically, I just try to stay focused. As long as my body's still in one piece, you know, I just keep trying.
You've been called a hucker before, and I know personally that you didn't like that. Why don't you think you're a hucker?
Because I think that hucker just implies, like, luck, and I don't think that I really rely on luck to get things done. I think
because you have no luck.
Yeah, my luck ran out a long time ago. But no, I honestly think that everything that I do or try, like, there's something I've done similar to it or built up to it. So, you know, if you want to move forward, you have to, you know, take a risk. You know, I'm not afraid to take a risk, but I'm not going to take an unnecessary risk or an uncalculated risk, which is what I would imply as, like, a hucker, you know, like someone who just has no previous experience or no grounds to be trying something like that.
So how much of it is mental and how much of it is skill and preparation?
I think 50-50. I think along with, like, skill and preparation, there's also, like, confidence. I think when your confidence is down, like, if you've had, you know, a bunch of injuries recently or things haven't been going your way recently, that can play a factor too.
How do you seem to bounce back? Actually, you don't bounce back from injuries. You just ride while injured. So you never actually stop. I mean, how does that not mess with your head?
I don't think I ride while injured too often.
He is lying to you right now.
I don't think that my body has felt normal for a long time, you know? Like, there's always something nagging or something, but nothing you can't put past you. But
do you talk yourself out of things? Like, what actually stops you from doing the things I know are in your mind?
When I see something big that I want to do, or, you know, a big rail, if I honestly don't picture myself getting to the bottom, I don't try it. But if it all works out in my head, you know, I feel like at this point, you know, I've been riding for almost 12 years, and I think that I have a better judgment each time I do something like that, whether the next thing is possible, you know?
How do you know when it's time to just walk away and where you just know it's not going to happen?
Sometimes when you wreck really hard, the picture in your head of you pulling it goes away, and if that goes away, then it's probably time to call it quits. But if it's still there, then give it another shot. So that's usually my guideline. And sometimes it goes my way and sometimes it doesn't.
The average NFL quarterback retires after 6 concussions. How many times would you have retired by now?
I don't know. I don't know what counts as a concussion, but I definitely would have.
Stars, Brian, if you see stars.
All right. Yeah, I would have had a number of careers by now.
You know, most people get to see the highlights of Brian Kachinsky, you know, all the crazy tricks and the things that he does, but every once in a while you get stuck with getting hurt, and when Brian comes home, you're the one that gets to see him hurt every time. How are you able to deal with that?
You know, seeing him come home hurt it's never fun, so it's not ever something you get used to dealing with, but yeah, I mean, it sucks, but you know, you just hope that it doesn't happen very often, and you know, just kind of go with it and make sure you're there if you need something. I definitely have gotten really good at playing nurse and taking out stitches. I'm the type of person that is very queasy when it comes to cuts and blood, but definitely gotten better, and I can take out stitches now.
When they come out with a movie based on the life of Brian Kachinsky, who is going to play Brian Kachinsky?
Denzel Washington? Yeah. Eddie Murphy, Laird Hamilton, or, I don't know.
Laird Hamilton. I'm glad you brought that up. Can you speak to that?
I don't know if he can act, but you know, that'd probably be the biggest honor ever if I got Laird Hamilton to be my.
For those kids that don't know, Brian has been known as the spitting image of Laird Hamilton. He's a professional swimmer, diver, big wave surfer. There shows so much I know about sports outside of BMX. Have you ever met him?
No, unfortunately not. I'd love to meet him, but yeah, he's a BAMF.
This is where props can superimpose a picture of Laird Hamilton right next to Brian, so you can see the uncanny similarities.
Well, I guess this is the point where you can give your thanks. Who would you like to thank?
Definitely thank my family, my parents. Yeah, there they are. My parents pretty much unconditionally supported me. Also my good friends and everyone I grew up riding with, like Dave Frymouth, Mark Hilson, anyone I film or shoot photos with. Definitely also like to thank my sponsors, DK, Etnies, UGP. I've been with all them for a while, and 661 and CTI, Fuzzy at Ogio. My first sponsor ever, C4 BMX out of Milwaukee. They helped me way before I ever had any help. Anyone who's helped me out in the past, that goes from anyone who's let me stay on their floor to anyone I've ridden with or who's given me a hell yeah after I pull something, you know, like all that stuff I love, and that's what makes me love BMX. So thank you.
Any famous last words?
Find it and grind it.
Do I still want so scary.